Hello, greetings, sacred souls. Welcome to Sacred HERstory podcast. I am your host, Jennifer Natasia, and today, for our Sacred HERstory guest speaker, we have Ernelita Dacumos. Ernie is an international speaker, podcast host, facilitator, trainer, author, and coach. Welcome, Ernie.
Thank you so much for having me here, Jennifer. Thank you for the opportunity. How are you?
I'm here. You know, we were just talking about that Filipino accent. How did I do with pronouncing your name?
You did great. I was waiting for a fab to come out there, but no, you did an amazing job. That might come out throughout your podcast, so just warning your listeners.
Warning, warning. There may be some, Tagalog words coming in here as we're talking. She's bringing out the Filipino side in me. So, welcome, Ernie. So, I mean, you wrote this incredible book, which I have right here.
Yes.
You guys get this? So, unapologetically you. So, did you always think that you were going to be this podcast host, trainer, facilitator, and then even write a book?
The first part of the question, no. I never thought of being a podcast host at all, nor a speaker, trainer, but I've always wanted to become a writer and background. I've actually written two books in the Philippines. Romance novels books though, but they're not like self-help books like the Unapologetically You. But
Ooh.
writing is my thing, not speaking.
Well, that should be an easy transition, right?
I
Writing, and then you just say it.
don't know. I don't know. Because the difference between the two is you're hidden.
Yeah.
Your words are out there, although there's fears that comes with that. But when you're speaking, it's a little different dynamic, just like what we're doing right now. With writing, you can correct something that you may have said wrong, but here it's like this is all you, right?
Mhm.
Showing your true self, and there goes the foul, true self. And then you can't correct anything else. They're seeing the whole you.
Mhm. Seeing you speak right, what's coming from the heart, really, because this is not
Mm-hmm.
scripted. And I don't do a
Yes.
lot of editing either. That's not my forte here. So,
I
welcome.
love live.
Yeah, right. But like I did read part of your book, and you share that you were shy. A shy introvert is what you see yourself as a manifesting generator, which I'm like, okay, that's an interesting mix.
Yes. It is for sure. I did not know that I was a manifesting generator. All I knew before learning about human design is I love starting new things.
Hmm.
Anything that's new to me, that's stimulating, I love to start it, but never wanted to or never had the chance to finish them, right? You know this because you're a manifesting generator yourself. That's all I knew, but I did not know about personality traits. I didn't know about other avenues of how to learn more about yourself.
Hmm.
So when I found out that I already know that I am shy, I did not know anything about introverts, extroverts. But there's a common misconception of being a shy person and an introvert person. Sadly, I have both. Let's say the difference.
It's
I
okay.
had both.
It's your design.
It's my design. So let's say, what is shy? When you are being shy is somebody who is afraid to talk to somebody,
Mm.
right? Or initiate a conversation or even be on the spotlight. That's a shy person. And then an introvert person, and then again, there's a lot of common misconception is when you hear introvert, they think that we hate people. That's not true. Introvert people, what happens is when we interact with other individuals, it drains our energy. It's not that we hate people, it's just because being around people just really drains us. So being the shy person and the introvert person, it does not help my personality because I don't want to be around people And the reason being is they drain my energy. So I most of the time, I shrink, I hide, and I just keep everything to myself. Hence
Mm.
the words or the phrase shy introvert.
Mm. But you're a speaker too, so how does that work with being shy?
Um, so that's when learning more about yourself, and the book itself is a major self-awareness book. I have connotated the book as my journey to self-confidence. And to others, it could be a way to self-confidence. I'm emphasizing the word a, not the way to self-confidence. Because if someone tells you that this is it, this is the stuff that will give you self-confidence, run, because it will not, right? It's not for everyone. It has to match and resonate with you. My stories are going to be different from other people's stories, hence, it's not going to resonate. But
Mm.
with that being said, it's self awareness first. Each chapter of the book is a question. The first one is, do you know you? And that's when I found out that I was a shy introvert, now turned into a confident introvert. I am not the person who will be shy to talk to other people, but I'm still the person who gets drained when I talk to other people. When I have speaking engagements, the biggest audience that I've had, and this is not about bragging, the biggest audience that I've had in a room is 3,000 plus 4,000 online, drain the living energy out of me. But
Mm.
being able to deliver a speech that can impact people, that's motivating and inspiring to me.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So when you get drained like that, what do you do? Like, 'cause you said, it drains as a being an introvert, you get drained from other
Hmm.
people, right? So what is something that you do for self-care from?
Yes. And that's one of the things that I also talk about my book is self-love, self-care. You have to know yourself enough to know how to take care of you. A lot of people misconstrued self-care or self-love as going to the spa, getting your hair done, nails done, but those are amazing things. But in all reality, self-love and self-care is actually about taking care of you. And to me, in order to recuperate or to regenerate energy, is I have to have an alone time with myself. And it's a non-negotiable. What does alone time with myself look like? In the morning, before all the commotion takes place, all the busyness takes place, I have to have at least 30 minutes of just myself. That could be 5 minute journaling and then reading, right? And then once a week, I have it on my calendar, 2 hours of date with myself. So that would be watching a movie, reading a book that I love and wanted to catch up on. But you have to put those things in place to also regenerate energy. And it's, again, to me, it's a non-negotiable.
I love how you schedule your date time with yourself. I need to do that. So I have that reminder, because how easy is it to let the day get away with you, the weeks go by, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 months and you're like, oh my gosh, I never finished.
Yes. Yes.
And I had to go back on that manifesting generator. I finish. I do have a tendency to finish things that I typically start, but I do get bored on things. So there was a lot of relational stuff that I was able to relate to that you were sharing in your introduction. My thing is I get distracted because of the next day. And like when it's new stuff, I'm so excited about it. I forgot I was gonna finish my yoga certification from 4 years ago. And it's like so now, it's like I do get back to it,
Hmm.
as a manifesting generator. Do you find yourself coming back to those old things you started, or is it just like
I, I can definitely relate to that. And I'm going to give you a most current thing that I'm working on. So, as you said, right, you get easily bored. Me too. It has to be stimulating, continuously stimulating enough for me to consistently work on it. And then, even though it's stimulating enough for me, sometimes I still get carried away to other shiny objects that happens and goes on in my life. As you already know, you're a manifesting generator. But what is important to me is I've heard this quote before from a mentor of mine, and he said, "Don't let your schedule work you, let your schedule work for you." So, what happens? I have signed up for a Genius for 21 Days course. Okay. So, with that, you have to be, when you finish a course, you would have to be somewhat of a genius. I am not a genius for a lot of reasons, but I love the concept of being a genius. But that's a 21-day course, optional for you. Again, it's like other course, it's at your own pace and you can finish it whenever you can. I signed up in November. We're already in wow, September already. We're already in April. We're already in April, and I have not finished it. I am 8 modules almost done with it. But what happens is if I don't schedule it, it will not happen. Life will get to you. That's a given. But it's a matter of following that schedule, making sure that it's on your schedule. Hence, another thing that's on my calendar that is a non-negotiable is learning and training, which learning could be reading, training are those courses. I have not had the chance to finish the whole module, but I'm almost done because it's on my calendar.
Mhm. And this is like for the manifesting generator. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, funny. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
You know, and this is for the manifesting generator or whoever feels they need this, right?
Yes, yes, I agree. I definitely agree.
For the busy mama.
For the busy mama, for the busy businesswoman, for the busy career woman, professional, ambitious woman or man, because apparently I've been asked, why is it just for women? Why can't it be for men? I'm like, well, I'm a woman. I want to resonate with women. But yes, I agree.
Yes, for you men too who want to be a part.
And there's no discrimination. You can.
Ernie, I mean, there's something else that I would love for you to share too. I mean, then we'll come back into all this amazing stuff that you do, but even your background is pretty incredible too. So your life didn't start here in the US. You want
Mm-mm,
to
it did not.
share, like, how was it growing up and what brought you out here to the United States and where are you at?
Mhm.
I know that was a mouthful of questions.
Yes, let me see if I understand everything. No,
Okay.
I definitely. So basically, my background before United States, right? I was born and raised in the Philippines. I know you're part Filipina, but with me, I came from the motherland, the Philippines.
Motherland.
Yes. So the motherland of the amazing words that we talked about with the accent and everything. So I was born and raised there, and obviously, we did not have a very fruitful background. I came from a poor family, and we go by, we live day to day. And with that, it gave me the inspiration and the motivation to also make a name for myself. Regardless, I didn't know what it is. Obviously, when you're young, you're like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a nurse. Not knowing what that meant, literally. You see somebody, try to catch a bad guy. I want to be a police. But for me, I don't know what it means, but I just want to make a name for myself.
Mhm.
With that, as I was growing, I know that sadly there's no future in the Philippines for me. Learning how things are going, and it shows today that Filipinos travel abroad, to support their families. And I had the same thing too. The only difference with me is I was blessed to become a US citizen before I even flew in the United States. Hence, it was easier for me. But with that, I was 17 years old. Now, Jen, mind you, in the Philippines, when you're 17, you would think that you're like this mature, you know everything type of person. That's what I thought I was. I flew to the United States and they're like, "Where are your parents?" I was like, "Home?" Apparently, I was underage because you have to be 25, 21, right?
Depends on what it is you're trying to do. Yeah, 25, I think is to rent.
20,
Yeah,
yes, 25 to rent, 21 to
21 to drink,
drink,
18, you're considered an adult.
an
Yeah.
adult. So I was still a minor apparently because I was 17. So that's one. And then I thought I can speak English. Well, unfortunately, I do not because I don't understand a lot of English words that's spoken. You know how I have an accent. Some people eat their words. Some people just really have this southern accent that you will never understand if you don't have the ear for it. So I was having difficulties communicating. And because of these, the culture, the difference in culture, it's fast paced. Everything is so different to a point where, and you don't have anybody to guide you,
Yeah.
let alone having support supposedly that limits you in what you can do. Filipinos are known for curfews. I have a curfew. I had a curfew. So there's a lot of limitations, there's a lot of newness, which caused me to shrink. I
Mm,
didn't know that this world, this country was too big for me. Hence, I suffered from inferiority complex, and sadly, I developed a
mm,
stutter that when I have to speak with someone like this, I forget how to speak. And yes, that happened to me.
mm.
Hence, the shy introvertness also was developed.
It didn't help. So in the Philippines, were you shy and introverted, or did that just kind of came when you moved out here to the States?
I think it was developed when I moved out here to United States. I didn't know that I was that shy person
Mm.
until I came here and realized that, oh, I don't have it all figured out. I don't have friends to be with. I don't have my family here. I was by myself with my aunt, and there's a lot of limitations in that aspect.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Like the curfew, I go, curfew? What, you over 18? I
Yes,
was gonna ask you too. I go, did you move out here? Because I go, that is a huge transition, different laws, different rules, different, just a totally different
yes.
world, that you moved into. And I can see how the shyness came in because it's like, shit, what did I get myself in?
Exactly, exactly. What the heck did I do? What did I put myself into? Those things came to mind, and it didn't stop there, actually. So I can move on with the story. As I
Please.
have progressed, right, I started working. Hence the limitations on curfew. I get off at 9 p.m. I have to be at the door at 9 p.m. Like, yeah, you're supposed to teleport from the from
Yeah.
the time clock to the front door just in an instant. So that's what it looked like for me. Hence, I had to, oh my gosh, typical Filipino move. I'm not stereotyping, but this is my Filipino move. I moved out of my aunt's house within a year of living there, simply because I know I'm not gonna grow. But I
Yeah.
didn't, right? I didn't know what growth was, but I know having constraints kind of limits a person.
Hmm.
So from that, I started working for Walmart, and some people may can, relate. I worked in retail for 4 years and met my husband then, married him, and had a baby. So that's when life happened at a very young age. Mind you, 17 years old, got married when I was 21, had a baby at 23.
Mm.
So very young age. And then had a divorce 7 years later,
7 years after your son, after having your baby.
5 years after having a
5 years.
baby. hmm Wait, did I have my timeline right? No, 1 year after having my baby. 1 year after having my baby. I had to move back to United States. We flew in the Philippines. Had to move back to United States because again, there's no life in the Philippines.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So
Yes,
you
yes,
came
yes,
out
yes.
here, yeah, no. So you came out here at 17. You worked at Walmart. So when did you move back to the Philippines?
I moved back to the Philippines 4 years after working for Walmart.
4 years out. Okay.
Yes. So in between that 4 years, I met my husband. We got married, and then we moved to the Philippines,
Okay.
lived there for 2 years. And then obviously we had our baby. And then I had to come back to the United States because the money that we had saved up was not enough to be sustainable.
Wow, this is a lot.
They
So you came back, but
did not.
okay, and then this is a lot. This is a lot of trauma now that I'm
Yes.
getting into is like, okay, all right, you're like, I'm 17, I rule the world, come to the United States, realize, ooh, it's
Yes.
not as great as it is,
Mm-hmm.
as it was in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these laws, all these regulations set by auntie, tita, you know,
Yes.
you're in my house, it's my rules. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, right. And then you worked for Walmart for 4 years, met your husband at the time,
Mm-hmm.
had a baby, moved to back to the Philippines, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're leaving your baby. To me, that's so traumatizing to come back here to the United States to make.
Yes. It was. It really was. Until today, I will never forget his face as I was walking inside the airport and him on the window just looking at me walk away. Never, I will never forget that image. But so that's what happened. And long story short, my ex-husband and I got divorced. There's, growing apart, misalignment. Those things happen. And
Right.
because of that, remember the confident Ernie who thinks she knows everything, and then it went downhill. And then the little
Mm.
confidence that she was developing at that time that was on the thread, and then got divorced, all that confidence gone,
Yeah.
all that self-belief gone, all that self-trust gone.
And
So
so then what happened? What did you like? You come back to the States,
Mhm.
continue. Where are we now? Like this,
Mario.
where are we here?
Yes.
Lost
So
confidence.
lost confidence. I lived with my in-laws at that time for a couple of years, and then the divorce took place. But what was going on was I had to rebuild myself. Obviously, at that time, I have a good, I didn't say great. I have a good career at Walmart. I've worked my way up, and then I have to start over again. So obviously, the first job that I will find is at the same place where I left it, Walmart. They gave me another opportunity. I had a good track record, but I was also studying before I left to go to the Philippines. I was studying for healthcare administration despite of me being pregnant and doing it across the world. I was able to finish that certification. I got my degree and then came back here with the degree and a little bit of experience in retail, which got me into healthcare. So healthcare world started at the very bottom, then made it to billing manager, which is the highest position in my department. And that's when, and I love this story. So when when you're working on something that you love, you kind of like, you don't feel like it's work at all, which happened to me. But when you have a limit or a cap on where you are, it changes. So the way I always describe it, and it's how I felt, is I felt this black hole develop in my chest. So this void, this emptiness, there's this thing that was eating myself away, and I was looking for help to fill it. I I don't remember what I was doing before, but I went to the doctor and said, there's something wrong with me. And the doctor was like, you're fine. You're very young. You're fine. You're fit. You're good. I was like, no, there's something wrong with me, to a point where I had to seek holistic healing. So that's why I'm exposed to it. But which holistic healing help? I learned about heart wall. I learned about Reiki, all that stuff. But the thing that mattered most and helped me is coaching.
Mm.
So I've learned that in that coaching process, I was taking care of everyone else but myself.
Yeah.
I was carrying the whole world's problems and not looking at myself. So because I lost it, right? I was working hard, just working away, because I thought if I'm not working, I will not see my worth. And I was just building my name in this company and doing what I thought I loved, but it's not something that I am meant to do.
Mm.
So towards that, I got into personal development. I didn't know it was personal development at that time. I just love listening to motivational speeches. I love learning about tools, meditation, the Ho'oponopono process. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. So those
Yep. Oh.
things,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So those things were the tools that I've used to help myself heal. So at the end of my coaching session with my coach, obviously, she asked me a very profound question. She said, Ernie, if you have everything in this world, the freedom, the money, and the resources, what would you do with your life? I said, and I don't know why, I said I wanted to help women from different countries realize that they have what it takes to live the life that they wish for. I
Mhm.
was talking to myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then that evening, I had this vision that I was speaking in front of thousands of people. Jen, I just said I lost all the confidence I had, right? I was
Yeah.
finding myself. And then vision of speaking in front of thousands of people with the stutter, and English is not my first language. How in the world will I be able to do that?
But you did it. You did it. You
Yes.
said 3,000 people and 4,000 people online or something. Or
Yes,
did it?
yes,
That's
3,000 people in the room.
7,000 people, woman. That's incredible. So
Yes.
how did you, well, I have a quick question because I'm like, were you ever able to see your son in all this? Did your ex-husband and your baby came back to the States?
Hmm. No.
Mm.
The divorce itself kind of sadly severed the relationship between me and my ex-husband, and he took my son with him. And it was just, I know I can see the pain. It hurts. It hurts. It was just recently that I reconnected with my son, which was last month. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but this story is very recent. It was
Yeah.
just January of this year when all this developed. But throughout that journey, imagine me handling all of this, trying to learn more about myself, gaining self-confidence, writing a book, but still going through the process, the pain, the healing, which is why when they said growth has no destination, it does not. You will always grow, you will always heal. You will always have to improve yourself, whatever that is. Now, let me paint you a picture. Before, I would find, and this was when, my relationship with my ex-husband was severed. I did not have a chance to connect with my son. I would find myself in parking lots that I have no idea how I got there. I would cry there for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I would just realize, oh, it's late. I have to go home. Those are the things I went through. I would I would go through relationships and they will not succeed, and I would blame the other person, but in all reality, it was me
Wow.
because I didn't know how to love myself first before I can love someone else. I did not see their worth because I did not see my worth. So those things did happen, and it came to a point wherein I had enough. Like, obviously, in all those scenarios, there was a common denominator, and that was me.
Mm.
And sometimes in our lives, there has to be that courage to face the mirror and say, you know what? You kind of have to work on yourself first before you can even point a finger on other people. And I had to. I had to. I was given that huge responsibility to inspire thousands of people, but how do I even get there, right? Without starting with myself.
Right.
Hence the Unapologetically You book. It's my way to self-confidence. Is everything that I've learned over time that I have used and worked for me to gain the self-confidence that I have today. Now, is it everything that I need to get to the next level? No. Again, if somebody tells you this is it, no, please run. It is a stepping stone to another level because we always go through different levels, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not like you're better than other people. It's more so of you comparing yourself from the person who you were yesterday.
Right. Right.
And you will not recognize the Ernie that I am now versus the Ernie that I was before.
Wow. I'm still like processing it all because like you're like, oh, I would find myself in different parking lots just crying. And as a mom to another mom, like hell yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
like that the depths of pain there. And
Mm-hmm.
here you still continued to better yourself
Yep.
anyways.
Yep. My belief, and I grew up in a broken family. My dad was not around as I was growing up. And in my mind, my mom's voice always, oh my God, I'm getting emotional. My mom's voice would always resonate. I could have hated my dad. He was never there. I could have hated my dad. But at the end of the day, my mom would say, he's still your dad. He is still your dad.
Such a Filipino thing to say.
This is exactly like, this is why we're messed up.
Yeah, still your dad.
He's still your dad, even though he did all those things. He was never around, but it does not mean that he's a bad father. It's just that he just has different priorities, which is great.
Mhm.
But because of that, it also gave me this, I guess, subconscious message that regardless of what I was going through, there's still something that I want to prove to my son that when it's time for me to meet him, I'm ready for him. I am the better person, right? I can prove that I can support him. I can prove that I am mature enough to be the mom that he needed. It may not be at that time that he was growing up, but it could be at that time when I get to see him again.
Oh my gosh. This is, thank you for sharing and being so open and vulnerable because this is, I couldn't imagine talking about this. I had
Mm,
my kids, and I'm like, you ain't taking my kids, they're mine,
mm-hmm. Yep.
but
Yep.
even though knowing they're ours, and I'm glad that, you're reconnected with your son.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, you do a lot of amazing things. So, um, I'm like thinking, where shall we move forward to next? Because I really want you to share that part with what you like. You just have an incredible heart. You're so
Mm,
compassionate. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I do, because I mean, you wrote this incredible book. I'm only in chapter 2. I just got it. But I'm already like, oh yeah, who am I? And I feel like that can like you could ask yourself that any time,
mm-hmm.
even a year from now, go back and ask this question because you're not the same as you were a year ago,
Yes.
and it's beautifully written so far that I got to. But there was something that you shared about the core confidence method.
Mhm.
Can you share more about that? And how do you use this? Is this what you talk about in your when you're speaking and facilitating, doing the things that you do?
Yes. So when you read the whole book, and this is the most important step to all the listeners, reading is just one step. It's a step. But applying the teachings in anything that you read is actually the most important thing, right?
Right.
Reading is not power. Knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that is. So,
Mm,
with that being said, the core method is core confidence framework is actually an acronym. So, C is stands for clarity of self, which is self-awareness, which is again chapters on the book. It's getting to know yourself more. How do you tick? What makes you tick? Right? How do you respond? What do you do when adversity hits? That's clarity of self. It does not mean changing yourself. It's just getting to know you, right? And then O stands for owning your voice. As you get to know yourself, don't hide, don't shrink. And this was me, as you have heard part of my story, because I suffered from inferiority complex. The world was too big for me. I hid. I was
mm,
that last person in the room and everyone else was up front. I don't want the spotlight on me. I just want to do the work and leave me alone.
mm,
But owning yourself, owning your voice is very important. It's how you set boundaries.
mhm,
And let me tell you something about boundaries. And this is the most beautiful thing that I have learned and how I changed my perspective about boundaries. Boundaries is not how you want to be bound. It's how you want to be held and
That's
how you want others experience life with you. Because when you focus on yourself first, it may look like you're selfish. But let me tell you this, it's actually selfless. Why? Because you cannot give what you don't have. The goal is to give from a
oh,
cup that is overflowing, not
mhm.
an empty cup, right? So just a little perspective about boundaries. I hated the word boundaries before because I'm like, this is selfish. I've been told to give, give, give. It's like it's not good when you're not giving. No. It's
Right,
no.
right.
Learn to say no.
It's
Right?
okay. It's safe to say no.
Yes. And sometimes you're serving the other person when you say no because when you say yes, but you don't mean to, it does not look good, right? The outcome is always not good. So
Right.
learn to say no, honor yourself, which on is also honoring the other person, right?
Mhm,
And then rebuilding self-trust is what R stands for. This was huge for me because on everything that I have done, as I was saying, I was hiding, I was doubting myself. And you know the voices that comes in your head and say, "Who do you think you are?
mhm.
Why would they listen to you? What makes you think you're good enough?" I've had those voices in my head forever. But when you actually worked on yourself and build self-trust, you can show up on a table with flaws and everything, knowing this is what I can bring on the table. I am not perfect, but I know I have something to bring,
Right.
right? It's just a matter of knowing what that is and then implementing that, which is the last one, which is embodying bold action. I didn't say action only, embodying bold action. Why? I have learned this. This is what the core reason of me talking about self confidence. Mel Robbins. She is a lawyer turned motivational speaker. And she talked about how she learned about confidence, which is having the courage to turn thought into action and doing it over and over and over again. And confidence is a skill. So when you say a skill, it's something that you can learn, you can hone, and you can develop, right? But before you can learn, hone, and develop confidence, you have to have the courage to do what is in your mind first. And you have to be bold enough to do that with fear, with doubts, with uncertainties. You just have to show up and actually do it. And what happens is when you consistently do that, once you have learned about yourself, once you have accepted this is who I am and this is what I can do, and you keep taking action and doing it over and over and over again, you started building self-confidence, self-competence, and then self-confidence.
Mm, thank you for sharing all this. Such knowledge that you shared. And what we need to do is put it to applied action.
Yes.
That this is incredible. I can see how you speak, and I go, it doesn't even matter, that you're a second language English speaker. I mean, I'm sure if you go to the Philippines and you speak on this stuff, your native tongue will just come out, but it's such value because it's bringing it back to our own self-awareness. I mean,
Mhm.
how often do we give our power out because we're so worried about everyone else and we forget what is it do I need?
Yes,
And then
totally.
sometimes I know I'm guilty of it, where I'm like, nobody cares about me. No, it's because I never stated what it is I needed. I never stated
Yes.
the boundaries of
Hmm.
what I needed to be held, what
Hmm.
so I love how you created this acronym, the core method.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So
I
that,
love acronyms. That's how it's easy for me to remember stuff. I mean, it's a selfish reasoning, but it's easier to remember stuff when you use acronyms.
right. And especially when you made it too for yourself, it's like, oh, this is what it is. This is what I need. I need to come back to the core. It's
Hmm.
like it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to your core. That's I one of the things that actually brought me back to this is my old boss. She's actually is still the VP of a company that I used to work for. She always says this: go back to the basic, go back to the basic. Because when you know so much, you kind
Mm,
of forget about the basic structure that you know. But when you go back to the basics, okay, what do I want? Who am I? Right? What can
mm,
I deliver on the table? Because I'm gonna be flat out honest. When people say overcome fear, there's no such thing as overcoming fear, because as you get older, right, as you reach a certain level, there is a level of fear that comes out. A lot of speakers, a lot of successful people actually says that there is the fear will never go away because it's fear of uncertainty, fear of success, fear of judgment. It will always be there. It's not about overcoming it. It's about working with it and toning it down and say, I hear you, I see you, but guess what? I'm still doing it.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
Yes,
love this. Well, thank you for motivating us today.
my pleasure. It is my pleasure. I love doing this.
Yeah, and just being real too, because we think, oh, everything's fine. I'm not gonna live with fear, but here, it's like, yeah, it's in the back of your head. It's that little voice that
Yeah.
says, oh, are you sure you really think you can? And I love
Hmm.
how you said, toning it down and saying, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yep.
And that is really the only way to build confidence,
Hmm.
and let me tell you, I want to just be like, can somebody do it for me?
Yes, right?
But we know that, that is not logical. We are not going to learn or gain anything by someone else doing it for us.
Yes.
Like nobody can make us a better person. Only we can do that, right?
Yes. No one is coming.
It-
Oh my gosh.
no
No one
one.
is coming.
The knight in the in the shining
Sitting
armor is
armor.
not
No.
coming. If anything, he's gonna put that sword to your neck.
Right?
Let me.
And every person that we encounter also has traumas and like what they say, demons that they have to fight. That knight in shining armor man that you're thinking of actually has those too. So it's a matter of working on yourself. Oh my goodness, this is which is why relationship to me is huge because you have to work on yourself first to get the individual or to attract the individual that you want in your life. But
Absolutely.
if you don't, you will also attract the individuals that you do not like. Women, toxic relationship, if you I can talk about this all day. If you are in a relationship that is toxic that you do not want and then you move from one person to another, I speak for this because I have done it. I have shared it earlier that my relationships were not successful because I did not work on myself.
Mm,
It's just a matter of, okay, work on yourself first, heal yourself first, right? And then be with someone. The next guy, the next person, the next relationship will not fix you. More so, it will only affect you.
I couldn't agree any more than that. So, where is your love life now? Is there a special someone?
Mhm. I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this man has seen me at my worst. And again, the self-confidence journey started less than almost a decade ago. So I've been with him for 7 years. He has seen my worst, and he also has also seen the improvement in my life. And today, it's just I love it. That no jealousy, that level of trust that we have on each other. It's things that women fear of, like a guy cheating or being dishonest. I don't have that fear. And there's this quote from Matthew Hussey that he said about relationships: do not pray that the guy will not cheat on you. Pray that you can handle it when that happens.
Hmm. Well, okay. Thank you, Matthew Hussey. There you go. I wish he would.
But see him do that, and he will see what happens.
Yeah, I wish he would not. I love that, and that's so incredible. I couldn't agree more because same like going on my own journey and that healing
Mhm.
journey, it does take time, but as you realize what this pattern is, going back to the same old and seeing it's not new,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like, well, what is it that I need to fix? Or what
Mm-hmm.
for me it was really how did I need to be held?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
and know thyself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love this. And so I've been in mine and going on 6 years, great. And I was oh, I'm a single mom of three. Who's gonna want to date someone like me?
Exactly.
I've
Yep.
had guys even said, well, you got three children, we could be, buddies,
Friends with benefits.
buddies. And I'm like, yeah, no. And that's where the boundaries come up, where it's like,
Yeah.
what do I really want? And that's
Mm-hmm.
not getting me where I want to go, So
Mm-hmm.
everything you said, yeah, it's 100%. And I love hearing where you are now and like how this book that you created for us to read. And I'm going to work through it and do the journals too, because, I think the big part is comparing and where I've been and where I am, well, even from just a
Mm-hmm.
year ago and where I am now,
Yes.
to just rebuild on that confidence. Because, man, those voices are so loud. They,
So mean too.
yeah, and especially like when you go through a huge shift, it's like
Hmm.
they come back even louder, and it's like, okay, you kind of know what to do already, but it's like still, it's right there screaming
Yes.
in your ear.
Yes, yes. Actually, if I can add this, Jen, so you
See?
know the words fierce? There's a teaching in that book, and I've used it on my speeches. I actually used the actual word as an acronym to battle fears, to tone it down. Like I said, I don't overcome fears, I tone it down. So let me see if I remember this correctly. So FEARS, right? So F is flip the script. And I think it's on chapter 9. F is flip the script.
How funny because I went right to chapter 9. So,
So what that means is if who do you think you are? Do you think you're smart enough? Right? It's changing that script to say, well, I'm here to help. I may not be that smart, but I'm curious, right? So flipping that script because between the two, which one is more powerful? Which one is more inspiring? So that's one, flip the script. E stands for embrace it as a journey. In our life, we will not get the one thing that we want right away. It's a journey, right? It's a mountain that you have to climb. So embrace it as a journey. I have failed in my life, and I'm sure you have too, right, Jen? We have our own failures, but it does not mean that we stop. It's just a matter of picking yourself back up, dusting yourself off, and then doing it again.
yep. Yeah. But you gotta pause in between
You
that.
gotta, yes, right?
And then take
Let
a
me
breather.
just heal some bruises and some scratches here.
Yeah. I,
So that's E. A stands for action.
hmm
And I love this. You can wish, you can hope, you can plan. Oh, you have it. You can wish, you can hope, you can plan whatever it is that you have a burning desire to do, but without action, nothing will come into fruition.
Mhm.
A R is remember your why.
So, ooh, good one. Yes.
Remember your why. And my values is my family. No matter how I want to change that, it will not, it sadly it didn't change. I love my family, but it will stay with you. But to me, in this journey of speaking, coaching, facilitating, what makes me jump up in the morning is my goal is to change one world, not the world. I'm
Mhm.
not here to change the world. I'm here to change someone's world, one person at a time. And that is my why. And lastly is the word S. This is a bonus. So, which is I added on the word. So, see it as a sign of growth. When you have that heart palpitations, the palm sweating, the anxiety that you feel, see it as a sign of growth, meaning you're reaching a different level. And guess what? Once you get past it, when you, like I said, tone it down and say, I acknowledge you. You can call your fear a Devlin. I don't remember what movie that was with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, but you can call your fear Devlin or you can name it, but recognize it, do it anyway.
Mhm.
See it as a sign of growth because when you experience fear, there's only two things that you can do: fold or push forward.
Mhm.
It's up to you to make that decision.
Mm. Wow, Ernie, you shared so much good stuff. And, your story and where you've been and where you are now, incredible. However, there's also something amazing that you also do. And you give,
Mhm.
can you share with us, what is it called? What is it? Mission Warrior?
Christmas for the natives.
Mm, I'm all off. Well, I don't know. Well, you guys are mission warriors. So I'll just say
Might
that.
as well. Might as well.
You guys are mission warriors. And again, what was that for?
So Christmas for the natives, this is actually a mission that my mom started a few years ago. I lost count. Every year I have to figure out when we started. But it all started with 50 bags of candies. And my mom just has this heart of giving to the kids. And that's for the native Filipinos in the Philippines. The day before she did that, my mom said, "Oh, I'm giving out candies to the kids in the neighborhood." I was like, "That's great." So I sent a little bit of money so she can give it with the kids too. And then she realized that 50 bags of candies is not enough. And she said, "There's so much kids that came, but I ran out of candies." And from then on, it kind of stuck with us that we wanted to help kids. So the following year, I went home to the Philippines for the first time, I think after COVID. And all I wanted to do is have a Christmas party with these kids. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I just want to give back because my mom has a passion for it. And, as a very abiding daughter, you kind of have to follow through. So we did that, and we were able to help 150 kids with toys, games, food to share. And during the actual Christmas party, we even had decorations and everything. We just didn't have Santa. But during the Christmas party, I was seeing their genuine happiness, the smiles, not just on the kids, but also the parents. Because of it, in the middle of that Christmas party, I promised myself that I will do it every year.
Mm.
Again, manifesting generator, doing something that, but at that very moment, I had this just epiphany with myself that I don't know how, I don't care how, but we will do it every year. And we have done it every year since then, from 50 kids to now 900 kids between two schools, and from 50 bags of candies, giving them one bag of candy each, the 900 backpacks, 900 school supplies, and then doing a Christmas party, 600 plus slippers, toys, I don't know what else. Food packs that we give away. We're able to help these two schools and the kids. And I think this year will be our fifth year of giving to these kids. And why do I do that? Before I thought it was just helping my mom, fulfill her dream. But I was doing that because I see myself wanting to spend time with my kid. And that's my only way.
Thank you. Ernie. And beautiful. The next time you go to Philippines, I'm gonna put that prayer that you guys connect.
Yeah. Yes, I've seen him in March. So
Oh,
it's just continuously seeing him.
oh, you did see
Yes. Yes.
him.
That's what we're doing.
Yes, so that's what they do. And so in the description, we're going to have a link for any of you all who want to donate to
Mhm.
help these children. Actually, they're the indigenous children of the Philippines, so they're up in the mountains.
Yes.
And, they don't really have shoes right now, and so the goal, like when Ernie and I last talked, was to get them shoes. And so, if any of you all want to donate and be a part to
Yes.
giving, the link will be in the description below. And Ernie, it's such a beautiful thing that you and your mom are doing. And like I said, I'm here for it too, because I may go there next year.
Yes.
And that will be my first time to the Philippines. So I'm calling it in, right?
Love it.
So yes. So for any of you, what is the goal amount again?
The goal amount this year, I was not able to achieve it last year, but the goal amount this year is 15,000. Now, to those who have the heart to give, that 15,000 does not go to my pocket by all means. Actually, what happens is if there's any other needs after the money that we have collected, I'm the one who puts that money in. So the 15,000 will cover the 700 shoes, actually, no, the 900 shoes that we planned, along with the backpacks, the school supplies, and then have food. So right now, just full transparency, I'm not here to make money, but what we're doing is we're cooking for these kids. We're cooking food for 900 kids. Not to mention the people that goes with them, which is their siblings, their parents. So we provide food for them just to save money. But if possible, right, the things that we take for granted, like Jollibee or McDonald's, that's what I wanted to give them. It's a huge, huge difference for them to have Jollibee or McDonald's, which is what we spend that in one meal. So that's the goal. And at the same time, continue with the shoes, continue with the food packs. We have given 100 food packs per school, which has rice, bag of rice with noodles and canned goods, which are things that they don't have in the Philippines, or is it's something that's hard for them to get. They're so used to eating vegetables, which is super healthy. um, but those are the things that they don't have access to.
Thank you. So if you guys find in your heart and you feel like giving, like I said, the link will be below in the description, and you can connect with Ernelita. And where can they connect with you, Ernie?
It would be on my LinkedIn or my Instagram account at Confidently You or Creating with Ernie. So either one is Ernelita Dacumos. You can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Thank you. And any last words, Ernie, as we close?
Just a quick reminder, always be bold, be radiant, be confidently you.
Thank you. So, beautiful souls, if today's story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you that you're not walking this journey alone, I invite you to follow and subscribe to Sacred Her Story podcasts. Here's where real women share their raw, unfiltered stories, the sacred, the messy, and the powerful. Until next time, thank you for joining us, for she is Sacred Her, sacred, highly exalted rebel. It is saying yes to ourselves and trusting in our own inner wisdom. And thank you again, Ernelita, for joining us here and for letting us see you
Hmm.
on your journey for your love, for your truth, and your sacredness. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Jen.